Hello. Hope all's well. You'll have to excuse the wind on this recording. I found a very nice spot here and have been camping in the camper van. An old van, ambulance converted into camper van. It's very beautiful just here. Probably see how nice it is. It's just very cold in winter in the England at the moment. But the sun has come out and it's really needed at this time. Really needed. Yeah, the wind might cause a few. Might not be able to hear what I'm saying, but that's alright. So, I was just going to say that just a little bit about me and what I've been doing. I've not really lived a normal sort of life and worked hard the last few years. I've lived quite simple and travelled and busked a little bit with my guitar and sang and that. Just excuse the floor here, it's a bit yucky. Ugh. God, let's get past this first. I'm always aware of wasting time, but I think it's because I've had this urgency to sort of live, you know. And that's part of what I was going to say. It all sort of correlates in. I've lived a lot of time in the wild, within nature, something that many of us never get a chance to do. I spent months on end wild camping, you know, living out there amongst the nature, obviously not in the snow and the cold, but in warmer climates, and a few times in the summer in England. It started off for me and my girlfriend as a sort of a change that we felt we needed inside, more earth energy, being grounded, you know, connected to life. We were just sick of the bullshit, really, you know, of the normal world and that, you know. It's grating to the soul, you know. It's and you need to live whatever you feel you need to live in this life, you know. Not letting fears and doubts and all this stuff get in the way, because it's a real special gift, and we don't want to end our life with these sort of, you know, regrets that we need to make peace with in order to feel like we've really appreciated this life, you know. Being in the wild is very powerful and takes us back to our ancestors, and it's deep in the blood, and you can't really erase that. You know, the last however many years of society and the way we've become very brainwashed, very placid, you know, less in touch with our needs on an animal level and spirit level. But you can't erase that energy beneath, and I'm pretty sure that I've had glimpses and found the truth beyond this societal framework that we're living in, this society, which is all about purchasing and keeping the people at the top happy, you know. It's a process that needs to break and fall, because it's no longer serving the earth. It's no longer serving our planet. We're becoming a menace to life, you know. Of course, we all know about the species and going extinct and all the chaos that's coming from what we're doing. This return back to nature is a real key element. It's a real, you know, the these parts of the psyche in us, this animal part, wants to break free of all this shit and push it off it, you know. It wants truth, and it wants us to be in our power and strong animals, you know. And I think, you know, humanity's become a bit disconnected from that, you know. With all this smartphone gadgetry and technological world and very mental realm, the Matrix is really pulling people in. But the truth that I felt beyond this, having lived in the wild day after day after day after day, its power will never leave me. Something shifted for me out there. Something happened. And this is why I'm making a video, to express and explain what has happened and how that may be beneficial to others. The real truth for humanity is that we are free. We are free, but we've become so dependent on a system and society which is totally out of whack. It has some great benefits, you know. People can be kept alive for longer. But they're not really living. Oh dear. Sorry, it's just funny. You know, there's great benefits obviously to society, but not if we're losing our soul, not if we're losing the depth of connection to the life force within us, you know, because that's the ultimate guide, and we need that. Now, to move to my next point, last year we got a place to live in England again, and got all the belongings and got all the stuff. We spent a fair while getting our nice little house or static caravan good and ready. So much time, in fact, that there was not much time for actually doing any of the creative stuff that we'd done, because we were spending all our time creating the space ready. I did, however, have intention to create an album of music that was quite deep and inspired, and some of it did happen. That was really good, but I had to fight, you know, being a not very motivated person, I had to kind of like fight to make it happen. But it happened in the end. Point is I became very depressed, and it's reached its peak like the last week, which is why I'm doing this video. Last night I couldn't sleep properly. I was just laying there and I could feel this twisting or whatever in my gut, you know, and I'm not one to usually have these pains and weird sensations in my gut, you know. I'm usually, body's quite good, you know, body's spot on. And I was just laying there, you know, and I was just feeling trapped with the depth that we've got, you know, the depths that we got caught into, and how we're going to pay them off, and feeling like I'm stuck in the system and you know, need to find my own way in life. Now anyway, none of it's really related to that. It's more related to the disconnection from the earth and the nature, you know, and having spent so much time in a colder country, not sleeping out on the land. Because I mean, we were sleeping out on the land, you know, every night we were sleeping on the earth, and that is an amazing benefit to any human. You know, that is a birthright that we've been taken away from just by the fact that, well, especially in the colder countries, of course, we have to be in there, but we would have lived in caves and, you know, simple life, you know, and yes, you lose a lot of your necessities and, you know, things that you think you need to survive, but you gain the truth back, you know. And when there's a depression, you have to do something to change something, because depression's a sign that the way you're living doesn't feed the soul, you know. Some people say that depression is just coming from your childhood pains and your traumas, you know. And to a certain extent I agree with that as well, you know. The things we've been through in our life, if they are unprocessed, can lead us into feeling depression. I'll just check the power on this phone. But ultimately, depression is a sign that you're going the wrong way. You know, that you're not listening to the truth inside you and what it wants. When I felt my truth, I just wanted to be back with Mother Earth again. I just wanted to be on the land. I don't want this bullshit, you know. Like, the only reason I need this rubbish is to get food, to live, and to create music, because for my music I like things like amplifiers and, you know, and electricity and things like that, you know. So they're the things that keep me in the system. We all have things that keep us within this system, you know. Not to mention the fact that there's no food really. There's not enough food growing wild, or it appears that there's not enough food growing wild for us to live wild again and truly sovereign, because this is the key word that we're talking about, is our sovereignty. Just by the act of being within this system and being by its rules, a certain level of sovereignty has been lost. It is in our sovereign right, it's our sovereign right to be able to walk freely on this planet, and that right has been taken away. And we need to be able to stand up for our right to be on the land that we belong on, you know what I mean? Because this is like serious. So I was just putting this on an external battery to give me a bit more charge on this camera. So yeah, so there's a bit of emotion with that, as you can probably sense, as should be, you know, because it's our right to be able to walk this land, as long as we're not trespassing on anyone, you know, and causing them harm or trouble. Now, we can't live in this society and this way, being suppressed like this. The human spirit will not allow it, you know. And the thing is obviously we have been given distractions, temptations, foods, genetically modified foods, you know, and sweets, and all these things to keep us happy within the matrix, you know, within this illusion, you know. So when we take away those things, sometimes the depression comes up, because for years we've been using other stuff, you know, these foods to try and deal with things, you know, to try and feel happy. You know, it's like, well, I'll work hard and then I'll be able to have a McDonald's, or I'll be able to, you know, I don't even want to say that word, to be honest, because it's not true. It's not real food. It's fake. You know, there's no truth in it. You know what I mean? But we work hard and then we get the toys, we get the sweets, you know. And it's about time we said, you know, no, we don't want this shit, you know. Like, we want real life. We want real life, because nothing in this world can give you real life apart from real life. And it's out there. It's within the forest, it's on the earth, it's being with the earth. Last night I felt like I wanted to be on all fours and running and fulfill my paws on the ground. I felt like I wanted to feel my hands in the dirt, you know. So this is deep stuff. This is the DNA and cellular memory of being an alive animal on the earth. It's that memory coming back up and making us want the things that we wanted, that we had in our ancestors thousands of years ago. It's making us want those things again. So sometimes as people clear their traumas, as people clear the things that have held them back in life, those blocks dissolve, and then it clears the way, it clears the fog, and the clouds, so that we can see what we really want and what really matters to us, sort of thing, And at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want clarity, you know what I mean? I want the truth. I want things that matter to me. I don't want specifications and cold world, facts all the time, and the attitude that, well, you just got to get on with it and be tough all the time, and all that stuff. I don't want any nonsense, basically. And as you start waking up, your bullshit, your nonsense radar just says, right, I've had enough of that. No, I'm focusing on what makes me happy. I'm focusing on the truth, I want to be an empowered being, because we need more empowered beings on the earth right now, There's not enough of us who feel freedom, who feel that positive, expressive, expansive energy that breaks through all the boundaries, I mean, it's negative in a way to think of these things. Like, for instance, I'm looking down